Well, welcome back to another episode of So Random and Weird Podcast. I'm Sheena,
And I'm Sarah.
and today Sheena, am coming to you with a true crime case that haunted me, terrorized me, and I was
Didn't-
totally obsessed with it when I was a
Okay.
kid.
Okay.
Because it kind of seemed that it was only like this and the Titanic and the Desert War were like the three big things that I can like remember from us being kids. And so today I'm going to talk about the Black Dahlia case.
I wondered. I knew you had talked about doing her or doing that, and yeah, I wondered when that was coming. I wondered if this was it because yeah, I was actually really excited about this.
Yeah, well, and the thing is that I'm not going to go every single inch and into this because really and truly I could have done like 2 or 3 parts about this because
Yeah,
there's a
there's so
lot
much.
of conjecture and things about what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
I did listen to a few podcasts like Morbid revisited the deep dive of this case, as well as Buried Bones by it's with Paul Holes, who is an investigator who did cold case investigating for Costa County, I think it
Okay.
is, and he helped a lot with the Golden State Killer, and also known as the East Area Rapist.
Oh.
So
Uh,
he's a really good source for a lot of
okay.
these things. Um,
Okay.
and I can't remember the name of the woman who he does that. But they gave a really great one just recently. So all right, so as we all know, that it was in January 1947, which it was actually January 15th, 1947. So this Thursday would make it
Mm,
79 years
holy
that this
crap!
happened. And
Yes.
I
Wow, that's weird.
swear,
That's like I just got shivers with that.
yeah. And the thing is like I totally didn't plan this for it because I
That's
didn't remember it was in January. In California, in my head, it's always like
yeah,
July.
summer 70s, surfing. Yeah. Cowabunga, dude. Sorry.
hmm
Ah.
So that morning, Betty Bersinger was out for a walk with her toddler in Lemont Park area in Los Angeles. Now, this was a barely developed area that was overgrown with weeds. And as we all know, what happens when there's any vacant lots, it is littered. So much litter. People will just throw stuff out there.
hmm
So it made sense to why Betty Bersinger thought that what she saw on the side of the sidewalk was a broken tailor mannequin. And I don't know if you've seen any photos of her actual body, but it
I
would make
haven't.
sense.
I haven't.
It would make sense of the way that it you could see the body, especially when you've worked with like mannequins
hmm
before, that mannequins they come off at the waist. So, and having her arms up made it made it feel very mannequin-esque.
hmm
Esque. Esque.
Esque.
um so and it totally from a distance I would have believed the same thing as well. But once upon getting there closer, what she found was actually the mutilated body of a naked woman who was bisected in half and the gruesome Glasgow smile that was carved into her face.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so obviously Mrs. Bersinger freaked out, as
Well, yeah,
I think
her
anybody
child
would.
is there too. God bless.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
So she obviously scooted her along and got to the nearest phone to call the LAPD. And somehow this got marked as a drunk person. I don't know why they didn't do that correctly, and she must have been like
Oh my
on the
god.
phone.
So it's like so they thought that she was saying that she came across a drunk person?
Mhm.
Ah.
So they didn't dispatch homicide officers immediately to
Oh,
this.
jeez.
The thing is,
Okay.
too, is that during this time and age, reporters had police scanners, and so they heard about this and hustled over to the Lemont Park area. So, of course, the photographer and the reporter got there first. And the reporter, when he got there, he's like, you can definitely tell the difference between a dead body and a passed out person, especially in this condition.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, mutilate, yeah.
and for this, he saw that her eyes were half opened and closed them, which is like, no, 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 no. This
Oh.
was Will. This is the Los Angeles Examiner, and the reporter's name was Will Fowler, and his partner Felix Pagel, or Pagel, or however you say it, got there before the police. Now, with this, I do want to give a trigger warning, just because of um, this is obviously a murder, so there is going to be mention of torture and sexual assault and gore as well. So,
So trigger warning.
oh, yes. So, n- just in case if you guys don't want to listen to this episode, I totally get it, because it can be a lot for some people. Right, so then finally, after we have the reporter there, who's obviously gotten all the photographs before the
And touch the
officers
body.
and
Why
touched the
not?
body, the
Dumb
the
people.
non-homicide department police show there and see, oh, no, this is a dead body, not a drunk naked person.
Oh, jeez.
So another thing is that because there were so many reporters and photographers and police officers, the scene would get trampled.
Oh god. So any kind of footprints or anything like that, gone.
Hmm.
Great. Alright.
Yes. And
Let's
then
just muck this up
finally,
even more.
yep. And get this, they didn't keep the scene secured after they removed the body and took whatever
Oh,
photos.
good lord. Oh.
Yeah.
What year is
Yeah.
this? I mean, this is like, we're back in like, 1800s times, man. What the heck? I mean, these people, this is almost 1950s. They should have known better by then. Good
They should have.
lord.
Not that they would.
Oh, unbelievable.
But thankfully, they were able to get her fingerprints and send them into the FBI. And she had two on file sets of prints. And we were able to identify her as Elizabeth Short. Now, Elizabeth, she also went by Beth or Betty Short, was born July 29th, 1942, in Hyde Park, Boston, Massachusetts, and grew up in Medford, Massachusetts. She had four other sisters, and for her, she was the middle child. So that's going to explain a lot about her and her personality. Now, she had mom and dad for about 6 years, and then in when she was 6 years old, so just about nine. She wasn't born in 1942. What am I
I
talking
was,
about?
God, I was
My
just gonna
brain
say, like,
just
I was just gonna say, like, what do you mean
1924.
30? Okay, okay. I was thinking about that. I was like, I was gonna look it up. I was like, should I say something? Because I think that's kind of wrong. If this was 1947, but
Yeah,
okay, you caught
tw-
yourself. I was like,
24.
1924.
24.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So, yeah. So, In 1930, he was thought to have jumped off the bridge because they found his car abandoned by a bridge, suggesting that he had completed suicide by jumping off. Now, this actually wasn't true. He just abandoned them, and they
Oh,
didn't find out until 1942. That's
oh,
numbers.
no, okay. That's an easy for the yep, nope.
When his wife, Phoebe, received a letter apologizing and revealing that he was living in California. Yeah. So, but during this time, because she thought she was a widow, she obviously went and worked as a bookkeeper to support the family. Now, Elizabeth had a common ailment that I handled with as well, which is asthma. And
Okay,
so
yeah.
often she would have bronchitis, which is something I so relate to while I lived in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I even had to go to swim lessons because I actually had bronchitis, but I missed the test in our gym class in junior high. And then I was like, I know how to swim. All right, prove it. So I went and I swam halfway and swam halfway back. And I'm like, can I make it? Can I go home now? I don't need swim lessons. Thanks.
Oh my gosh.
Um, but I dealt with it a lot. And even when I moved back to Pennsylvania for those like 2 years that I lived there, I constantly was dealing with bronchitis. So
Mm.
must be something back east because I have not had bronchitis yet.
Yeah, yeah, probably is for sure. Mhm.
So, and also with this, she had surgery to, I think it was to drain the the liquid that was in her lungs because of just
Okay.
constant bronchitis. And so
Okay.
she was referred to move down to a warmer, milder climate. So they had family friends in Florida. So she would spend her winters in Florida.
Okay.
Now, with this, she was compared by her classmates while she was in school. She was compared to the actress Deanna Durbin.
Okay.
Now, I wasn't overly familiar with her. So,
Mhm.
Deanna Durbin was a Canadian actress who was in Every Sunday as a child with Judy Garland
Mhm.
and a movie called It Started with Eve. And then she would have been in the 1943 version of The Phantom of the Opera, but she deemed it too bloody.
Which, knowing the movies back then with the Hayes Act and everything like that, there's no way that these things were too bloody compared to what we have nowadays. But
Oh, yeah.
y'all go ahead. Yeah, y'all go ahead there. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh.
So now, Elizabeth, this kind of, yeah, as you can tell, she's going back and forth between Massachusetts and Florida. So she's
Mhm.
living quite a transient life as it is.
Okay. Okay.
Add on to that, she's also a middle child, like the literal middle child. And she dropped out of school her sophomore year. So she would have been 16, 15,
Mhm.
16. Now, she did say that she wanted to be a star and be in the movies,
Mhm.
but she also said that she wanted to be an officer's wife and have a family. But if you think about it too, when she died, she was 22 years old.
Wow.
So she was still trying to figure out her life, as all 20-year-olds, 18, 19,
Yeah.
teenager, all of it.
Yeah.
So with that, she worked at Camp Cook, which is now the Vandenberg Space Force Base. But she left due to an issue with an MP that she went out with a few times that was so violent, especially when drinking, that
Oh.
he was relieved of his assignment. And according to Inez Keeling, who was her supervisor, we all gave a sigh of relief because he was a tough customer. He was the terror of what is now called Whiskey Row in Santa Maria. And also at this time she's moving from Florida to California between this time. Um, Also, just to mention, in a grand jury of 1949, of this quote unquote Sergeant Chuck, she
Mm.
testified against him. Oh, so yeah, all right, here. So in 1949,
Uh-huh.
they brought up in the grand jury that Elizabeth had previously testified against him for assaulting her at his court martial proceedings.
Mm.
And so with this job at Camp Cook, like a lot of government places, like when I did the FOIPA redaction processing, I had to have my fingerprints. So my fingerprints are on
Mm-hmm.
file. So no cat
Mm-hmm.
burglary for me.
Darn.
I know. I'll
You're
have
now
to
in the
wear
system.
gloves.
Exactly. You're in the system now. Could track ya.
uh,
God.
the other reason why she had fingerprints on file was that she was arrested in 1943 for underage juvenile delinquency, which is actually she was drinking underage.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now during like the 40s and 30s and such, it was up to each state and not a full US like national thing like it is now.
Mm-hmm.
That it was set for drinking age was different. So, in Wyoming, it could have been as low as like 16 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But in California during this time, it was 21. Then, so after all of this, she relocated back to Florida and she met Major Matthew Michael Gordon Jr. And according to her, she was engaged,
Mm-hmm.
but he died in a plane crash in
Mm-hmm.
August of
Oh.
1943. So after that, she goes back to California and her friends and roommates that she had stated that they pretty much would set her up on dates so that way she would have dinner. So dinner for dates or dates for dinner,
Okay.
which so because during this time she's also not holding down jobs. She's not able to really do much. Um, she's not obviously not getting into the movies or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Also during this time she ended up moving in with her father after having reconnected. And she only stayed there for a few months before he kicked her out, saying that she was not
Mm.
who he thought she was or should be, which is basically, and from what I could gather, is that she was out staying out, so she was rarely home or coming in,
Okay.
early in the morning, like us youngins do. Which I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. That's dad of the year. You abandon your daughter and then because she's now an adult and having fun and doing what adults do, you kick her out.
Exactly. Well, although if it
So
was a guy, would he have kicked her out? I don't know.
who knows?
Because she's a girl, maybe, she's like disappointed him because she's not sitting at home and vacuuming in
Mhm.
pearls. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing too to be mentioned is that her teeth, when they can't say that word,
Autopsy.
autopsied.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
um, Her mouth was in horrible shape, and she
Oh.
would put candy wax over her bad teeth.
Oh.
Mhm.
Hmm. Is
Yes.
would that kind of mold them so people didn't know or didn't think that she had no teeth, like the teeth were missing? I
Well, it would
guess.
be like covering the bad teeth. So like anything that's got like decay or like cavities or that kind of thing. It's not that she had no teeth. It's just that she had really bad teeth. because
Mm.
she wasn't able to really hold down a job on this. I mean, there would be times that she would waitress, but then
Mhm.
it wouldn't work out. So her her work history was not very good, and it wasn't able enough for her to be able to go to the doctor regularly or the dentist. So that's why she would put the can. I guess they had the wax candies back then,
Mhm.
and she would take those and just mold that over her teeth.
Okay.
So now I'm going to go ahead and go over the wounds to the body. So this is also, again, trigger warning. We're going to be talking about some very difficult subject here with what happened to her. Now, with this, besides her being bisected and her having the Glasgow smile, do you know of anything else that happened to her, Sarah?
I really don't. I mean, I know, I've heard the case. I heard about it years and years ago. Um, so I mean, I know, like, but I don't really know a whole lot, to be honest with you. Like, it's been years, so a nice refresher would be good.
Okay. So those two things are the biggest things that everybody knows about. Now, here are some things that were pre-mortem that happened to her. So obviously, the Glasgow smile actually was done pre-mortem,
Hmm.
and um, now the reason why, and Paul Holes brought up a lot about really good information about this, is that they found feces inside of her stomach.
Oh.
Okay, and now people would
Mm.
think it's from the bisection, but the way that it was cut, she was bisected right above the area where the stuff would go into your intestines, the duodenum. Yeah. And so that is why they think they most likely she had the Glasgow smile, is because what are you automatically going to do when somebody's going to try and force shit down your throat? You're going to
Mm.
close your mouth and refuse to open your mouth.
Mm.
By doing the Glasgow smile, it cuts the muscles that would keep that from going into your mouth.
Mm.
Another
Oh
thing
God,
that happened,
why? Why would someone? Go ahead.
well, the reason why is probably because they had horophilia, which is the sexual attraction to to anything that has to do with it, whether it's them themselves or seeing it or
Hmm.
have making somebody else do that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, Another thing that happened was that her pubic hair was shaved and then stuffed into her rectum.
Hmm.
Yes. And also in that area, they did a crosshatch markings on the pubic area with a knife.
Oh.
And that was before death.
Oh my God. Oh my God, this poor girl.
hmm
Oh. That's.
Another thing, I don't remember if it was post or pre mortem on this one, but her right breast skin and nipple was excised. So it was
Hmm.
completely cut off. And the way that they said that, and I don't know if anybody has ever seen anything like this, but it would be like where they would take a nipple clamp and pull the skin in the BDSM hardcore porn movies, where where you would pull it taut, and then what happens is that they cut it,
Hmm.
and then the skin would relax. So the skin was actually fluted with the way that it was cut.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh
Yeah.
yuck.
hmm Now, post-mortem, there was a few things that were done to her as well. She was stabbed in the heart, and that was post-mortem. She also had more cuts on her pubis area as well, on like the lower stomach. Now, she did have a tattoo of a rose on her left thigh, and they had cut that off as well. And the reason they know it
Oh,
was postmortem was because um, it was the way that there was no bleeding or
yeah.
contusions for this.
Mm,
Yeah. Now, typically when people do things like that, like remove tattoos, or they would also remove like the head, the hands, because that is identifying features for
yeah,
people,
yeah.
which I'm like, guess what, sucker? You're going to have a lot of cutting to do if you do it on me because I've got quite a few tattoos. Yeah, that's another reason why I gave to my mom of why I have so many tattoos is because I'm like, at least then you could identify me if something happens. And
Exactly, exactly,
if they're gone, if they're gone, then you
oh
also
god.
know it's me.
Oh.
So, but that's not what happened because it was actually rolled up and put inside her vagina.
Oh, that's that her tattoo?
Mhm.
The skin, it was cut off of her, rolled up.
Mhm.
Oh god.
Mhm.
My word, this is a sick dude. This is a sick
Mhm.
dude. Oh my god.
Right.
Ugh.
Now, um, on her wrist, ankles, and neck, there were marks on them. Now, they were not deep and they're rope marks.
Mhm.
Now, people have thought that this was to hang her up to bleed out, but because they're so light, it wouldn't make sense
Yeah.
that it was part of the torture or to do that. Because if you had these marks on you like this, you would have struggle marks as well.
Yeah, yeah, they would have
And
been
especially
more deep.
on, yeah, especially on the neck and your
Yeah,
wrists.
more bruising maybe and
So,
stuff too.
mhm. And then also on the back of her neck, there was a series of linear circular marks that were evenly spaced.
Mhm.
And people thought that it could be cigarette burns, but that's not what it was. Um, what's most likely is that there was those marks were from a restraint bottom where there would be like, and it would be something that would clasp over instead of just be like a rope, you know,
Oh.
if you think about it. And while I was thinking about that, I can't remember what the name of what this is called, but you see it in sex dungeons where it's the cross thing, so that way spread eagle, arms pose, or arms out as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So most likely that's where that was.
Oh my
That
god.
that at least that's in my theory. That's
Yeah,
what it is,
yeah, yeah. Oh my
from what I
god.
know of that. Now,
Wow.
as we go through this, seeing this, you see that obviously this person is most likely a sexual sadist,
Mhm.
that they get off on the torture and pain. As
Mhm.
soon
Yeah.
as a victim will play dead in with sexual sadists, it doesn't entertain them anymore. So then they can get up and walk away from it.
Mhm.
And also, most likely, this person had a specialized place like a dungeon, like if you're familiar with the Toy Box Killer as
I'm
well, is
not.
another one,
I
right?
don't.
Well, I do. I've heard of it before. So,
Oh.
um, now also besides a few other things, I forgot to mention that were found at the scene
Mhm.
that were there was cement bags that had some blood in it, as well as small droplets of blood as
Hmm.
well from her getting carried over. So now, something that I've really liked that Paul Holt said on this is that the person who did this wasn't just they're not just doctors can do this to people. You have
Mhm.
people who are butchers by training
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
also people who hunt as well.
Mhm. Yep. Same with the Ripper
Uh,
cases. Same. I
mhm,
mean, that was what they were saying too. It didn't have to just be a doctor for the Ripper case. It could have been a
mhm.
butcher. Could have been, yeah.
Somebody who spent their childhood hunting as
Mhm.
well, or if they were as children, they took part animals like serial killers do.
Yeah. You can pull wings off of flies and laugh at it. Oh god.
hmm So then this brings me into some of their suspects that we have. So the first one was Robert Red Manley. He was a redhead, hence the nickname Red.
Okay.
Was 25 years old at the time and was a friend of hers who was also married. He was a salesman and supposedly they were also dating. But then again, when there are men involved, and because she's single, of course she's got to be dating every man and possibly sleeping with every single one of them, right?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Tramp her up.
hmm
Oh god.
because this is her fault.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. If she wouldn't have been wearing what she was wearing or enticing the men to do, oh, yeah.
mhm. Now he had driven her down from one of the Santas. I can't remember which one. I think it
Okay.
was Santa Barbara area. No, San Diego. There we go.
Okay.
San Diego. And he was the last one to quote unquote have any interaction of her and the last person that she was seen with. And so he dropped her off, but it was quite clear it wasn't him. So he was able to go home to his recently, uh, recently just became a mother wife. And a few years later, he was institutionalized by his wife and lived out his time there.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Mhm. Now, the next one that we have, who is somebody that is a big suspect on this,
Hmm.
is Dr. George Odell. And I don't know if you've seen The Art of Eve, The Root of Evil, or listened to the podcast about it. But he wasn't a great guy. And so um, I can see why people looked at him and why he got bugged,
Hmm.
but he was later dismissed. Now, he was a doctor who specialized in venereal diseases.
Okay.
Um, now, he was accused by his daughter and went to trial about an incestuous sexual abuse that he did to his
Hmm.
daughter.
Hmm.
Yes. Um,
Oh.
he was also known to be a ladies' man, but he would also be, he was just not a great guy at all. Even his own son, Steve Hodel, uh, thinks that his father is the Black Dahlia killer because of there's artwork by a surrealist that looks a lot like how the Black Dahlia was posed when she was laid out, which is her arms up kind of like in a suggestive way and her legs spread eagle.
Hmm.
But the thing is, too, is that Steve Hodel has tried to link his father to being the Zodiac killer. And the only common thread in that, besides the time, is that uh, is that they're both a narcissists
Mhm.
type of thing because of, hey, look what I did.
Yeah.
With also with the letters being sent in. Now, the police did receive a letter, but they couldn't find any fingerprints on it. And they also received her things that were in her purse,
Mhm.
including like address book and everything like that that smelled of gasoline. but they were not able to pull up any fingerprints on anything. Um,
Okay.
so it's very, very, very unlikely that the two are together, also considering the nature of the killings. The Zodiac killer killed with a gun, the Black Dahlia killer
Yeah.
tortured and sliced her up and stabbed her.
Yeah.
So two very different things. Um, so and the thing is that he's tried it with a few different other serial killers that are around the United States, and so I don't as much as yeah, he's a great person to look
Mhm.
at on this, I don't feel it would be him on this.
Mhm.
Another person would be Norman Chandler, the publisher of the LA Times at the time. And he was placed as a subject of being the killer in a 2005 Black Dahlia files, the mob, the mogul, and the murder that transfixed Los Angeles by Donald Wolfe. But again, there was really nothing to go with that. Another person is George Knowlton. He was a singer, and his daughter, who I don't know if you remember way back in like the late 80s, early 90s, when there was a lot of the recovered memory hypnosis
Mhm.
that was going on, and how much that also screwed up a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she had gone through the recovered memory hypnosis, and she stated that she had memories of her seeing her father killing Elizabeth in a garage and then forced Janice to help dismantle Elizabeth.
Hmm.
She co wrote the book, Daddy Was the Black Dahlia Killer, with a veteran writer, Michael Newton, in 1995. She also states that she was told by a former member of the LA Sheriff's Department that her father was on a list of suspects, but per the public documents, he isn't listed on there. So, and yeah, it just doesn't make sense that that was it. Yeah. So now, and there was Jack Anderson Wilson, aka Arnold Smith. John Gilmore suggested that it was him because he was an acquaintance and an alcoholic and a petty criminal, but that's grasping at straws. There's another doctor, Patrick O'Reilly, who was an orthopedic surgeon who had association with two friends, including Mark Hansen, who was also a person of interest to them because he was friends with Mark Hansen. Mark Hansen let her stay with him for a while, and also she had stolen his address book.
Hmm.
So she was in possession of that when she died. Now, Patrick O'Reilly, he had been known to have physically assaulted his secretary in 1939, and
Jeez.
he also surgically removed part of his right breast that was similar to the way that Elizabeth's had been removed.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Why?
then, of
I
course,
no. Not even going
yeah,
into that. Why he would have done that? Go ahead.
yeah. And then, of course, there's always got to be a couple of celebrities, right?
Okay. Okay.
So, um, one that they tried to connect was a gangster Bugsy Siegel or Siegel,
Mhm.
Bugsy Siegel. Yeah. Um, and the reason that he was suspected there is that, um, because he was there with the Flamingo Hotel and Casino, but he at that time he had an on again, off again girlfriend, and who was also a starlet, Virginia Hill, and they were currently on again. And it's said that Siegel was known as a ladies' man, not a lady killer. And then there was a brief mention as well for Orson Welles, which I'm like, yeah, okay.
Orson Welles.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I
Yeah.
would not have thought what why is there did you see why they thought Orson
The,
Welles of all people?
no, No, I
Um,
didn't see anything.
I feel like that's kind of random. I don't know. Maybe not. I
Yeah.
just feel like it's like, oh, let's just like Orson Welles. What?
Why
That's
not?
insane. Exactly. Like we need a few more famous people. Oh, how about Orson Welles? Like, go
Right.
ahead. Go ahead.
So the last one that I like the most,
Mhm.
and again, I found this on the Buried Bones podcast, is that
Mhm.
at the time there was what they would call a mad killer who terrorized San Diego. So remember, Short had lived in San Diego as well.
Mhm.
And this, they called him the West Coast Fiend. And
West Coast Fiend.
mhm, he would sexually assault and murder. And he was during 1931 to 1936, with several women, and they were sadistically slashed on them as many times as 17 times.
Mm.
One was dismembered, and
Okay.
uh, and they were moved to places that would be seen by other people.
So
Now, there was
we're getting a lot of similarities here. A lot of
mhm,
similarities. All right.
another one of the several women that had passed from this West Coast fiend was Louise Talber, and she was hung up between two trees.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
Hmm.
But that makes sense with the Black Dahlia. And you were saying about how she was maybe hung up. You thought like that,
Hmm.
when he was messing with her and doing, oh
Hmm.
God.
Yeah. So, and unfortunately, it's next year will make it 80 years since she
Mm.
was found. And unfortunately, we are still no closer to finding out who did it. Um, and it's really sad because, this was a girl who obviously, early 20s, so still trying to figure out her life, had been subjected to a lot of stuff in her life. And unfortunately, because, she wasn't in the best of current circumstances, she lost her life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And of course, the mutilation of the crime scene, the reporters, touching the body. I mean, there were things that happened that could have maybe helped to determine, you know, like if there were footprints or if there were, but of course, that was mishandled and that's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yep. And I mean, poor girl had to go out on so many dates just to eat, and most likely probably just ate once a day, if that's how,
Mm.
you know. So, yeah, I know. I
That's just horrible. I mean, she was so young to have gone through so much in her life and then to have been, tortured and killed and just that's just that's just horrible.
yeah.
That's just,
Yep.
I
So,
mean, not that, torture and murder is good for anybody, but it's just I mean, there's when people are, I don't know, I mean, people are in such a horrible situation and then, you know, you have like, the the situation that she and end up being in, with the just down on her luck and then all of a sudden, like, now being kidnapped and tortured. Oh my gosh. I mean, just 22. It's just, she had so much life to live and it's horrible to hear someone so young suffering and going through all that. And I mean, it really does make one feel lucky to be, you know, like it makes me feel lucky to be who I am and to have the parents that I did and the life that I had. And, you know, I mean, there, are when I look at like, like these girls who were, you know, tortured and killed and down on their luck. And I don't know. It makes me feel really lucky to be who I am, and yeah, I had the parents that I did and the life that I did, and kind of makes
Right.
everything a little trivial, you know.
Mhm.
Like, the like, oh, I have to do laundry, why my husband's not helping the laundry or something, that's a little trivial compared to like what some of these girls, suffer through, and this
Most
it also
definitely.
makes me
Well, oh, go ahead.
terrified for my daughter. No, I'm just saying it also makes me terrified for my daughter. That really was something that I was worried about when I was younger. I was really worried about, you know, what could happen, because I mean, I don't think men have that fear. I mean, I'm not saying they don't have fear. Please don't
Mhm.
misunderstand that. But I mean, men don't understand the fear that women have when we leave our work at night and walk out to our cars,
Mhm.
or when we're, walking on, down the sidewalk at night, or when
Mhm.
we're, going into a situation like on a blind date or something, and you're holding your can of mace tightly in your hand, you just don't know what kind of situation you're walking into, and men don't understand that. They don't understand, you know, that we're planning escape routes, that we're looking,
Mhm.
okay, now where, who's around me, who's around me, and what do they look like, are they watching me? I mean, they don't understand that we have to do that because they have never been victims.
Mhm. The way that we
And
have.
yeah. And I was always afraid. Now thankfully I was a tall girl and I was a
Mhm.
bigger girl.
Mhm.
So I felt my chances of being attacked were probably a little bit slimmer than, some like the girls in our class, like Mindy or, Carrie, or, like the, cutesy little girls. Um,
Mhm.
so I really wasn't too afraid, but I still worried. I mean, there are big guys out there that, my weight or my height wouldn't have intimidated them, that wouldn't have bothered them, that wouldn't have done anything. But
Well, and this is
but
even still here just the same. I mean, what happened on Thursday? Somebody had a gun. They weren't happy that somebody wasn't afraid of them,
yep,
and he murdered her
uh-huh,
in front of
exactly.
everybody.
In front of people, in front of, yeah, right after she dropped her child off at school, in front of her spouse, in front of,
Mhm.
just because she just was not listening to him, and even though she was had
Not
done nothing
threatening him.
wrong, was a US citizen,
Mhm.
she lost her life.
Mhm. And then he called her a fucking bitch.
Yeah, after the fact. After the
Mhm.
fact. So, I mean, obviously, that wouldn't have happened if it was a guy. I
Mhm.
mean, he wouldn't have called, you know, the guy an asshole, you know, but he was pissed that a woman, uh, defied him.
Mhm.
And, when we're in these times, where, yeah, I'm hearing from more and more men in power that women should have less power, and that women are not as good as they are, and they're not as important, and they're not as, when we're seeing this on a daily basis, and we're seeing this, and we're hearing this, it's very scary. It's very scary. I mean, for the first
And they
time in
wonder
my
why
life.
the birth rate has dropped
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
why
And
more
why
women
women
are single.
and why more women are voluntarily getting hysterectomies and or getting their tubes tied, and
Mhm.
getting, and why some men are getting vasectomies. I mean,
Mhm.
I love hearing about that, these men who know that they are, you know, but I mean, the point is, for the first time in a long time, when I'm hearing about men yelling, your body, my choice, and you
Immediate
know,
throat punch.
yeah, I mean, it is terrifying. It is terrifying being a woman, and I can't even imagine because women are minorities. No matter what color you are, you're a minority because we are women, unfortunately, and we are a minority.
Mhm.
Now, I'm even more terrified for the women who are of color, like color minorities, like our black women, Hispanic women. I am Asian women. I am more worried for them because they
Mhm.
have a bigger disadvantage than we do. But
Yeah.
we are all women together, and we need this solidarity. We need to come together, and we really need to protect each other.
Mhm.
We
Oh,
really
yes.
do.
We really do, and all I can say and is fuck ICE, fuck Trump,
Exactly. Yep.
funk
Amen.
or funk, fuck his
Um,
cabinet and his little
Oh God. And
parasites that
Christy, no.
attached to him.
Yep. Christy, no. I'm wondering why, people should be worried that, immigrants who are pregnant are not getting the prenatal care that they should be getting. Did you hear about that?
Yeah,
You know
I've heard
what?
about that. I've
Yeah.
heard about
Yeah.
how people aren't getting their medicine
Yeah.
in
And
while they're in their
is that wrong?
concentration camps.
Is that wrong? Huh? Is that wrong? Gee, yeah. You're not, what human being asks that shit? What human being? That's the
Nazis.
question. Exactly.
Nazis.
She's not human. She's not
No.
human.
No,
Uh,
she even killed a dog because she didn't like it.
yeah,
A puppy.
exactly. I mean, that right there, that is what we're talking about. People who can just kill an animal without even a second thought.
And that's
Without
called
even
a
a second
serial
thought.
killer.
Yeah,
That's
without
a
even a
serial
second
killer.
thought. That's scary. I'm sorry. Those are the people I want nothing to do with. Those are the people
Mhm.
you need to watch. Those are the people you need to lock away. And those are the people right now who are running our country.
Mhm. And you can't convince me there wasn't some type of tampering there, but that's me. That's my belief on that. And if anybody who listens and is listening to this part and you don't like it, first of all, check yourself,
Hmm.
check your sources, use more than just Fox News and their little affiliates.
Hmm.
And three, go fuck yourself.
Amen. I'm sorry. First of all, this is America. We are all allowed to say what we think and say what we feel. That has not changed, whether you agree with it or not. But the point is, we need to do our fact checking. And I have been told by Republicans who are in support of Trump that they will not fact check. I was
No.
told this by someone, and I was like horrified because
Mhm.
they wanted to just watch their thing, and that apparently was sufficient for them. And of course, it was Fox and Breitbart and all that. And I was horrified that they were refusing to fact check. So yeah, I honestly, I'm, I washed my hands of that person, and I just, yeah,
Yes. And
we need.
if you have the chance to change, then good for you. Thank you. Thank you for looking into it and going, hey, and admitting that you're wrong. As
Yeah,
somebody who I'm neurodivergent, and especially if I feel like I'm getting rejected because I'm wrong on something, it highly affects me. But I will go look for it
yeah,
because if you
exactly,
stay ignorant, you stay stupid.
exactly,
And if
exactly.
you
It's the
stay
chosen
ignorant and
ignorance.
stupid, yes. And I will call you stupid right to your face
Yeah,
if you
it's the
decide to stay.
chosen ignorance. That is what I can't stand. If you don't know something because you don't know something, then, fine. That, you look it up, you research it, you'll learn. That's one thing. If you choose to remain ignorant, if you choose to remain stupid, if you choose to not look it up and to not fact check, that is where I have my issue with you.
Mhm.
Because then you are choosing to turn a blind eye, and that's what Nazi Germany did. I'm sorry.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's what the German public did.
Yep.
You
They
can't tell
watched their
me,
neighbors.
yeah, being taken out by the Gestapo, which is what we have now.
Mhm.
So let's turn political, but no,
That's okay.
but yeah, it's a very scary time for everyone in this country, not just the immigrants, for every single American in this country, especially
Mhm.
if you are not a white man. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. If you are not a white man in this country, be warned.
Mhm.
Be warned. Be
'Cause
on the
next it could
lookout.
be you.
Yeah, because it
And
doesn't
one
matter. I
day.
mean, even if you're just, filming or standing by or watching. I was reading there was a woman who was filming in her car, and an ICE man, an ICE officer went up to her, like, with his gun out, yelling at her to stop. And the policeman, thankfully, came up and said, "She's not breaking the law. She's not doing anything."
Mhm.
And a policeman was able to stand up for this woman who was in her car filming the ICE agent.
Mhm.
But the point is, he was coming at her with a gun exposed, yelling at her, and who knows what would have happened if the police officer would not have shown up. But the point
Mhm.
is, this is Gestapo like terror. This is what Germany had in the 1930s.
Right.
Okay?
What is it going to take for them to think, "Are we gonna have another Kristallnacht?"
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Because the thing is that it's going to be, you know, back in 2000s and stuff like that, I worked in potatoes. And of
Mhm,
course, we had a lot of immigrants who would come from Mexico to come work in potatoes.
mhm,
There was also people who migrated and immigrated to Idaho so that way they could stay and work the farm and everything
mhm.
like that.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I remember this one time I was there working, and then all of a sudden, two dudes in nice dress clothes come out to the potatoes. And when
Mhm,
you're sorting potatoes,
mhm.
you are there in your most ugliest clothes that you own because you never know what you're going to get. I mean, rotten potatoes, ugh,
Oh, yeah. Stuff in
um,
the potatoes. God, I can't.
dead animals, the amount of dirt
Ah,
that is in you. I mean, I
yeah.
only worked from like eighth grade to, my senior year. And I swear there's still potato dirt in my brain and in my ears and up my nose.
Oh my gosh.
So,
So a little bit of dirt,
and,
a little bit of dirt. No
but
kidding.
I remember them seeing them there and them coming and getting a guy. And they had no weapons.
Mhm.
There wasn't this big, huge scene,
No masks, no face
no mask.
masks, I bet.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
well, we all had it because we all had
Well,
the
yeah,
potato
but I
dirt.
mean the agents didn't, the ICE agents didn't.
No,
Yeah,
no.
exactly. Exactly.
And, they took this guy away, which I mean, I was grateful because he was kind of creepy. But
Mhm.
nothing else happened.
Exactly. And they didn't mess with citizens. They messed with people who were
Who they were
undocumented
looking for,
illegals. Exactly.
who
Exactly.
they are
And they didn't
supposed to
and they
be,
didn't kill people. They didn't kill people.
and not having the right paperwork for it
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
So, it's not this is not about it
This
at
is
all. It's about
exactly.
establishing a police state
Exactly.
and as Whoopi Goldberg would say, girl, you in trouble.
I love Whoopi. Oh my god. Yeah,
So
this is definitely a very scary, very intense situation that never should have happened in this country
no.
and should not be happening in this country.
Nope.
And the government should not be continuing to allow it, which they currently are, as the
Mhm.
DOJ is refusing to have the state of Minneapolis investigate what happened,
Mhm.
which or the state of Minnesota, and that's I think that speaks volumes right there that they're
Mhm.
refusing to allow Minnesota and Minneapolis to, the city to to
which they can't
investigate what's
do
going on. So,
because this is also on a state level as well. But so
yeah.
all of that to say, fuck ICE, fuck
Yeah.
Donald Trump, and
Mhm.
fuck all of his sycophants.
His little minions. Oh, dirty little
So,
minions.
um, some good news. I
Ah.
spun my wheel. And the thing
Oh.
is that I don't know what's going on with this wheel because it
Mhm.
kept giving me paranormal or true crime. And I'm like, I just did true crime. I just did paranormal. So
Oh gosh.
I finally spun it and got pop culture
Awesome.
and
We
current
haven't had that in
events.
a while. We haven't had that in a
No, we
while.
haven't.
Yeah, it's been paranormal and it's been true crime and it's been random, which is what I have for next week.
Hmm. And
So,
we had two myths and legends.
yeah, we have to, but rarely ever pop culture. So that's exciting. That's
Hmm.
exciting.
Yep. So we'll see what we can get. Maybe I'll go over about this very important bill that Speaker Mike Johnson wants to talk about shower heads.
Oh yes. Well, that's super important. That's the
Yes.
Senate has to be in on the floor at 7 o'clock at night to discuss shower heads. Rich people shower heads. Rich people. Don't
Hmm.
forget rich people shower heads. Not our. No.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that.
When this country's going to hell in a handbasket, let's talk about shower heads.
Hmm.
That makes sense to me. Yeah.
Yep. So and then you're up next week, which you have
Mhm.
random. Did you
Yes, I do.
ever decide on something?
Right now I'm kind of going between two topics. Um, I I've been wanting to do a true crime. Um, but I wasn't sure if I should do true crime because you did true crime this time, and I thought I don't know if our listeners are gonna be like, oh, true crime again, But so I was debating that, and I was debating something else. So we'll see.
All right.
I don't know. Has anyone reached out to make any suggestions or?
I haven't seen anything, and definitely
Okay.
please do. I try to make sure that I keep on it, but sometimes, life gets in the way, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just one person. Um, but I'm going to start putting up episode threads up on Facebook, so that way anybody can comment about the episode, that week's episode. Excuse me. And then also we've got the Facebook, we've got Instagram. You can send us an email as well. We're available on all of the podcast thingies, and except for Amazon Music. I think that's the only one that we're not on. Um,
Yeah.
and then, but please get in contact with us. Give us
Yeah.
ideas on things.
Yeah.
Talk
Let
with
us.
us. Did you think that
Yeah.
I covered it well for the Black Dahlia? I mean, like I said, I did this for a one episode thing and not for multiple episodes because I could have taken at least two
Could have easily, yeah,
episodes
taken
for
a couple
this.
there.
Hmm. And so, also we want your guys' stories. There was March today, or not today, yesterday, for going to the about getting ice out.
Yeah.
So if you've been to any of the protests, let us know what you saw there. And
Yeah. We'll get political in
uh,
here. I mean, obviously, as you just heard, we will. I mean, we will get political too. I mean, that's a part of pop culture. That's a
hmm
part of our, what's going on right now, and we don't want to ignore that. We don't want to, So if you want to get political, we'll get political.
hmm
So
we're here to help learn because that's kind of what this is. Besides us being
yeah,
dorks about
yeah,
stuff,
video dorks. That's us.
but also it gives you a chance to learn maybe something new. I
Yeah.
mean, Sarah today didn't know a lot of the other wounds that happened to the Black
I
Dahlia.
did not know,
Not
no,
that she
but
wanted to know.
I did not. No, not after hearing that. I was like, "Oh, oh, wow, yeah, no." But,
Um,
yeah, no, I mean, please, so, yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out if you know, just even wanna shoot us a, "Hey, how you doing?" You know? That's cool.
mhm,
We'd love to hear from you.
yes,
So
and so that's gonna be our show today. Hopefully this week we can actually get the first episode of Supernatural, our Supernatural recap for everybody. Sorry about that last week. How life kind of got in the way, and I just couldn't get to getting it out on time. So that will be out on Thursday as well. So I guess all we can say is that we love our little nerdlings, and we hope that we'll see you next week. And I, as Buffy the vampire said, if you need me, beat me.
love it.
All right.
Alright, well,
Love you guys.
love you guys. Have a good night. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Hit stop.